news today is that the energy price cap is rising. For a typical average household, their expected bill currently is around £1,971, and this is going up from the 1st of October to £3,549. This is an increase of 80% in energy costs. Now, naturally, lots of people are worried. In this video, I want to share with you some of the reasons why the prices are going up. Now, I'm not going to sit here and try and defend these increases. I do feel that there's probably more that could be done to support households with these rising costs. At some point, you have to turn around and go, households can't afford this. It's not fair to put this burden on the average citizen of the UK. But there are some driving factors that are global, and this is why we are seeing the increases that we're seeing now. This all comes down to a basic economic principle of demand and supply. If demand for something increases and the supply of that product increases, then what you find is prices go up. You see this with things around Christmas time. Lots of popular kids' toys will be in big demand, and you find that these things are rarely on sale because the companies are trying to make as much money as they can from them. They know that you're going to want these things, so they put the prices up and they turn a profit. You also see a similar thing happen when the supply is low. Think about popular games consoles. You find the prices go up and up and up because there's not enough of them. So by increasing the prices, people can recoup the cost from either low supply, or they are able to charge those prices because there's less of them and they know that people will pay for them. So this has happened with energy across the world, and particularly gas. So gas is the driving force here. Now, in the UK, we use a lot of gas. Most of the boilers in our households are gas boilers. So if there are changes to the supply or the demand for gas, this is going to impact on the prices. And it's going to have a big impact on our energy usage too. So let's look at some of the more nitty-gritty details about what's going on here. So the first one is that there are low gas storage levels. Countries can store gas. They can build up reserves of gas to use in times of emergencies. Now, in the UK, we have around 8.2 terawatt hours of gas. You don't really need to understand what this term means. What we do need to do is to compare it to other countries in the EU, for example. Now, Italy has 71 terawatt hours compared to our 8. Germany has 64 and France has 26. So we're looking at these countries having much bigger storage of gas than we do here in the UK. And actually, we use more gas. Our levels are particularly low. These reserves are used in times when there are maybe shortages to gas or there are high prices, and they can feed this gas into the system and actually keep the gas prices low. The thing is, we just don't have enough gas to be able to do this. And this is why we are then subjected to the increased prices in gas that's happening across the EU and across the world. The next reason is obviously the invasion of Ukraine by Russia. Now, the UK doesn't get a lot of its gas from Russia. Many EU countries do. And therefore, what we're seeing is a global reduction in the amount of gas that's available. So then other countries start turning to other sources that maybe the UK had relied upon. This is a reduction in supply. When people are turning away from Russian gas, they then start looking to other places. And these places need to put their prices up to manage with that increased influx from other countries. Ultimately, the result is that the price of gas has increased. Because we're not using Russian gas, or it's being used less, this means that other suppliers are responding to that need, and the general reduction in supply forces the prices higher. And actually, we're not the only country who has low gas reserves. France used to have 4 times the amount of gas reserves, but actually what happened was a lot of these were used during the winter of 2020 to 21. Now, if you remember that winter, it was cold, and actually it was one of the coldest winters on record. But it was also combined with the fact that most of us were in lockdown. We were in our homes a lot of the time. So lots of countries then used their reserves. The UK did the same thing. So there was a huge increase in demand, which has then led to a decrease in supply, which is a perfect combination for price rises. Next, if we look more globally, what we are seeing is other countries around the world are changing how they use energy. So many Asian countries and South American countries are trying to move away from using coal and start using more gas. So what we're seeing is an increase in the demand for gas across the world. Again, this is going to force up the prices. There have also been issues with other energy sources. Some of the nuclear reactors in the UK have had issues over the last year. There was also issues with the energy that we get from France via EDF. Don't understand the technicalities, but there were some issues with that. So what this means is that other countries, ourselves included, are looking at energy alternatives. When we look at some of the other energy sources, such as like solar and wind, what we saw with these over the last year was they weren't as productive as we were expecting. So all of this put together means that we're looking at energy sources in a different way, and we don't have the supply that we were hoping for. So all of this has led to this kind of perfect storm of reduced supply and increased demand, which has forced the wholesale price of gas up over 300% in the last 12 months. This means that this has then come back to consumers. With our gas reserves low, we don't have the gas to pour into the system to try and deal with some of those prices. Now, this doesn't really help you if you just sit there going, well, I'm just a person like this, I can't afford this. Do check out some of my other videos. I have ways that you can reduce your energy. I also have videos on the most expensive appliances in your home, so you can carefully monitor your usage of these. Make sure you look for all the assistance that you can get. I'm going to be doing some future videos on things like grants that you can apply for. So make sure you give me a subscribe so you can check that video when I upload it. Have a good one. Bye.